Hi everyone, it's Lehman with Lace Covered Skies, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different video because I think I talked about this in my last video, but I have not been able to really get into the groove of creating, and I think it's because my craft area is a mess. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. I'm not in my usual filming area, but it's just everything is everywhere. It's just a mess right now. And so I think instead of trying to continue to create, I need to fix this problem first. And I have been doing that for the last couple of days and really been getting into it. And I've been inspired by Pam Van E. I've been watching her videos where I guess she had finished a couple projects and her craft room was unorganized too. The way I think most of us, for me, when I do one project, I have to stop and clean. And I haven't really been doing that, so it's like a disaster area in here. And I think it's like crowding my mind. Like I can't focus and create. So I really started to dig in and organize everything really well. I'm going to show you the bins that I've already done. I have a really small craft area, so I've had to get pretty creative with my organizing. And my main system, if that's what you want to call it, are these shoebox, like plastic shoe boxes from Dollar Tree and some from Target as well. So I basically just organize like things with like things and put them in these boxes and label them. And they're not the most convenient. It's not like they pull out like a drawer. So it is kind of a lot of trouble to get into them. But for now, this is the best I can do. And these boxes used to be $1. So when I got them, they were $1 each. So that was good. And same with these Target ones as well. I got my original batch. So I got a whole bunch of these white ones. And then I got some pink ones of the Target ones. At that time, they were $1. And then the pandemic happened and everything went up. But before it went up even more, I got like 4 packs of these, thinking there's no way I can go through 20 boxes, right? Well, I've already gone through 10. So this is going to be a set of 15 that I'm going through if I fill this up. And then after that, I only have one more set of 5. But I want to show you what I've gone through. I did all of my trims and ribbons so far. And so these right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 bins full of just ribbons. Like, who does that? But I really love them and I use them. These are my new favorites. I've been hauling them, if you guys have been watching my videos. So that's my favorite right now. But these right here are floral, like they're printed ribbons, and there's smaller ones in the back. This here are those sheer ribbons that Dollar Tree has sometimes, and I love them. So I buy them when I see the colors that I like. And then these are trims and gimp and cords and those fancier type of ribbons. There's some ruffles right there. This in here are those really lacy trims. Sorry, I'm not opening them. It's like we're just peering into these boxes. But just lacy trims, fancier trims. Down here I have more floral because I'm obsessed with floral. Down here is rickrack, pom-pom. I think that's it, rickrack and pom-pom. And down here are what I think of as more retro, like a retro look. So those are my ribbons, and I really went through everything. I color coordinated some of them. I pinned all the ends in. I just went all out. And then I have these bins right here, vintage handkerchiefs. These are what I would put on the spine of a journal or the cover. So they're like the ones that are really good looking, and they're like thick strips. These are doilies, and those little cloths or doilies that people would put under vases. These are everything I've avocado dyed in terms of fabric. These are like the really wide sheer laces. These are the fancier types of things, like these beaded pieces, appliques, and like the dangly trims. And this down here is dotted Swiss and other like pretty fabrics. So I've done those, and along with doing that, let me put you guys up on this thing right here. This is a very janky setup. So let me make it so that you're resting on some of these boxes, but so you don't have to see the side right here. Hopefully nothing goes toppling over. All right. And as I was going through all this, I also started to pick out things that I have not used in a long time or am not excited about using, or if my style has changed. And I've decided that I am going to do a huge destash, because like you guys just saw all my ribbons, right? I don't want to buy any more ribbons or trims unless they can fit in here. And there are still spaces in here that things can fit, but if they can't fit, then I'm not allowed to buy it. That's my rule right now for myself. So I have decided to destash a whole bunch of ribbons and some other things. I've done ribbons, I've done napkins, I've done vintage labels, I've done some dies and embossing folders, and a variety of other things. And I really just want to destash and sell them for a really good price. I'm going to sell them in large lots for a really good price, just so I can feel a little more in control of my craft area. So what we're going to do today is sort through my sewing things. These are mostly vintage sewing items, and there are other things mixed in, so that's why I want to kind of sort everything out. This right here is my vintage button box, and this over here are the vintage sewing items. Okay, let me make sure that everything's in frame. Okay. All right, so I just want to go through everything, at least get started with you guys. And I wish I had scissors here. I actually have my box of scissors right here. You guys can see now how many scissors I have. It's pretty ridiculous. But when I find them on sale, or if I get them for free, I just, how can I resist? All right. There. So I think in my next video, I'm probably going to do a few of these organization videos. And then in my next video, I'm going to have a destash video where I show you guys everything I'm going to put into my shop and just destash for a really good price. So anyone who's new to junk journals, who's looking to build up their crafting stash, or who wants to get a good deal, this would be a good way, because I'm just gonna try to move them out at a really good price. And then, because now I'm realizing I have so much stuff, I'm probably gonna do like 2 or 3 rounds of destash, and then I might start listing things up on Etsy, because I have a lot and I want to be able to bring more stuff in, you know, as my style changes, or as I just want to go to an estate sale or something. I want to be able to feel comfortable bringing stuff in. So I think I'm going to start listing some things on my Etsy shop, some vintage things and supplies and stuff like that, or kits, after I do all the destashing. And that way, hopefully, I can clear my mind and be able to create more, because it's been frustrating not being able to just focus and create, because there's so much going on in my craft area. But okay, let's get started. I know I have like quite a few of these, so I think I'm just going to set them aside. And for me, I stay sane when like is with like. So even when I move, and fun fact about me, I love moving. I love packing, I love organizing, I love weeding things out. I have like a system for packing, and I have a system for the movers. Like I color code everything so that it makes their job quicker. Like I really love moving. And one of the things I love about packing is putting like things with like things. And it's a great way to have like a fresh start. So that's what I'm going to be doing here, which I think most crafters do this. I know Pam, she is all about this too, just like watching her videos and hearing the way she talks about it. All right, so there are zippers over here. I'm going to be having to figure out a lot with the seam binding, bias tapes, and the blanket edges. Okay, there's Velcro. I do use Velcro a lot, so, and I think I have a few different ones. Okay, I think I'm gonna start a box. I don't know if it's gonna necessarily be if it's gonna actually be stored in a separate box, but I'm just gonna start a box to kind of keep everything good. Okay, I'm just putting the zippers over here. Here's Velcro. Here's more Velcro. Here are zippers. See, I feel good already, because here's more Velcro, because things were kind of mixed together. This is beading, like bead caps. They're beading supplies. So I'm gonna move them out so I can put it in with my bead stuff. More Velcro. I love that. I think this I'm just gonna consider ephemera, like just a tag. So let me just set that aside for now. Okay, I think what I'm gonna put with the Velcro are magnets, because I know I have a lot of magnets too. These right here, I found this pack at a dollar store, and when I bought it, I was like, let me just try this out and see if I like it, because I was looking for thin magnets, and once I opened it, I knew I loved it, so I wanted to go back and get more, but I don't remember which dollar store. So I think what I'm going to do is go with this pack and ask the stores if they carry this, because I love the thin magnets. Like, these are really thick, And I have these ones too, and they're thick as well. And then I have these that I got from a Buy Nothing group, and they're very thick, like thick and strong, and it's almost dangerous how strong they are. So that's why I was loving these. And they're so inexpensive. Like, I know a lot of scrapbookers use magnets like this, like these silver ones, but those cost, oh my god, these are strong. Those cost a lot. So that's why I liked these, because they're not too strong. They are strong. Like, they are strong, just like a piece of paper in between would be perfect, like as a closure or something. They're strong, but they're not too strong, and they're so inexpensive. So I'm gonna try to look for more of those. All right, so these are magnets right here. Maybe I'll do that. All right, rulers. I don't think I have a large collection of rulers or anything, so let's just leave that out for now. This is a bunny, I think. It's an applique. I don't know if I would use this, although the eyes are kind of cool. I don't know if you guys can see it, but they move. But if nothing else, I would use this as ephemera. So let me put it in with my ephemera stash. Let's start an ephemera stash right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Okay, so I'm starting the ephemera stash over there. Let me move. Okay, you guys still can't see it. But, all right, let's just continue on. Zippers. I'm gonna add that to my zippers. This is elastic, and I actually do have a little stash of elastic. Let me run over here and get it. You guys can keep looking at these boxes. So I have, these are newer elastics. Probably have some more, but I'll look for it later. I got these from Hobby Lobby, and I love elastics because I think I love them because of I was looking for them when I was making masks, so now I just feel like I need to hoard them, I guess. Let's put them, I'm gonna put them over here. All right, this is a paper measuring tape. So I think this is gonna go into the ephemera section. Same with this one. These are for like, it's for embroidery floss, right? I think. I'm not too sure, but I'm just gonna leave that out for right now. Okay, this is definitely just ephemera. I think I was at an estate sale one time and I saw this just as trash. So I picked it up and I bought it, of course. Okay, I have more of these here, so that's cool. More Velcro. Needles. This will go into the ephemera pile. I think I'm just going to toss this. This is going to be ephemera. Cool. Okay, this, I don't even know what this is. I think I'm gonna toss this. They look like beads, but I don't think they're beads. This is for jewelry, right? Like a bracelet fastener. I'm gonna put that with my jewelry making stuff. This will be ephemera. They're really cool. That's like a Vogue label. This is a needle pack, so it's gonna go right here. This is another needle pack. I love these. I'm so excited every time I find them. Okay, this says that it's a Velcro fastener, but there's nothing in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put it with the ephemera stash. Oh, this is, I think this is like a Denizen label. That's cool. I'm gonna put that with the ephemera. Hooks and eyes. How many hooks and eyes do we all have? I feel like we have a ton just from getting these, and it's kind of hard to use them up. I think, let me put these flowers with ephemera. I hope I'm staying in frame. Let me put the rest of this aside and decide later what I want to do with that. Here's a piece of Velcro that came loose. I'm probably just going to toss that. This are tiny little rhinestones. So I'm going to put it with my jewelry making stuff. I was thinking my shaker cards and stuff. Okay, more hooks and eyes. Another needle kit, and look at how cute that is. It looks like a matchbook. So cute. Oh wait, what is this? It looks like there's something back here that looks like matches, but I really don't know what that is. Tear off runner rester wand like any matchbook stick. Moisten with tongue and touch both ends of stocking run. Mend before washing. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, I was not in camera. This is to mend stockings, and you have to literally lick this. But those are all the threads that would match with stockings, I guess. Wow, I've never seen or heard of anything like that. That is really cool. All right. More hooks and eyes. Needles here. So we'll put it with that. This is more jewelry making stuff. All right. So I think for now I'm going to put all the needles in here, just for now. Okay. This is a needle threader, so I'm just going to put it in with the needles. This is more Velcro. I did not know I had that much Velcro. Okay, elastic can go with my elastic over here. These are washers and things that look like tools. So I think I'm gonna put it with my tools. I do have like some tools, like hammers and nails and screwdrivers and stuff. So I think I'm gonna consolidate this into like one bag or box or something and put it with my tools, because I wouldn't know what else to use it for. All right. Okay, let's see. This is velvet ribbon, which I do have one of those bins that have velvet ribbon in them, so I'm gonna file that in there later. I think I'm gonna, okay, this is a needle threader, so I'm gonna put it in with the needles. And then we are going to work on these right here. So I think what I'm gonna do, I have a bin over here as well, which I was needing to get rid of. This is gonna go in the pom-pom bin. This is gonna go in the fancy trim bin. And this lace is gonna go in the lace bin. And this right here is gonna go in the fancy trim bin that I had organized the other day. Actually, let me put this right here. So we're just gonna separate them out. And we're gonna do lace, I guess this is lace seam binding. I have a lot of it. And I'm glad I'm going through everything now too, because then I'm not gonna feel the need to hoard, because I'm literally seeing with my very own eyes how much stuff I have. Lace, let's see, let's read what it is exactly. I mean, I've read this a million times, but I still get confused. Okay, this particular one is flexible, I guess. Sorry, it's going out of focus. Hem facing. Why did people need so much hem facing back then? This is not flexible. This is gonna go with my trims and ribbons. Okay, vintage rickrack. I do have a lot of rickrack over in these bins, but vintage rickrack is gonna be on its own. It's gonna have its own section. Hem facing. This is gonna be on its own as well. It's not gonna combine with the lace hem facing. So let's just do that for now, although lace hem facing, bias tape. So is bias tape different from this? Because this looks wider. I'm not sure. Let me keep it separate for now. Okay. I think I'm gonna put the rickrack separate. Actually, I have another one of these, so let's go ahead and break it out. Oh, I think I talked about this before, but I wanted to show you guys. This magnet right here, this company, this was maybe like 2006 or 2005 or something. This company was asking people to send in different sayings, and so I sent in a whole list of sayings, and they bought this saying for me. So I thought of this saying, and then they bought it from me for $50, and then they sent me this magnet, which they made out of it, or made using it. All right. This is seam binding, but it's lacy, so I'm going to put it with that. Here's more rickrack, more lace seam binding. I'm guessing these are buttons. I'm going to set that aside. More rickrack. This vintage elastic, right? No, it's some kind of braid. It looks like elastic to me. Of course, I don't know if it stretches. Let me set this aside. This is rickrack, more lace hem stuff. Here's more of this braid, lace. I don't know, is that bias tape? or what is it? I'm not sure what that says, but I'll put it with the lace. This, I think, is going to go into the fancy trims box over here. This is waistband crushing and rollover. Oh, prevents waistband crushing and rollover. So this seems like an elastic to me, right? Or even if it doesn't stretch, it's gonna go where elastic goes. So let me just put it into the elastic section. This looks like bias tape or bias tape. I don't really sew, especially with this kind of stuff, so I don't know quite what all this does. This is seam binding. So let's put seam binding right here. Seam binding, rickrack, lace. This is lace. This is seam binding. I know we like to use seam binding. And I never know what to do with the bias tape. This is more lace. This is seam binding. I'm going to put this with the lace because that's seam binding and it's not as important as lace because I use lace more. All right, I think I'm going to put this with the bias tape. This is seam binding. This is seam binding. If anyone knows the difference between seam binding, hem facing, bias tape, and the lace hem facing, let me know in the comments the difference between all this because I'd really like to know. This is bias tape. This is seam binding. Yeah, I think so. Seam binding goes there. This is elastic. And then there's that blanket stuff too. The blanket binding. I mean, I think I know what that is because I've seen that on a lot of blankets. I'm going to put the blanket binding separate for now. This is seam binding, seam binding, seam binding, lace, 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 rickrack, rickrack, more blanket binding. This is blanket binding and more blanket binding, rickrack, blanket binding, seam binding. This is seam binding, seam binding, rickrack, rickrack, rickrack. I like this. I like this kind of bias tape because at least there's like a pattern to it. I don't know what to do with bias tape. I think I need to pull out the bias tape, seam binding, pull out the bias tape, and try to figure out a good project with that. Seam binding, seam binding, seam binding, rickrack. Lots of rickrack. I like that. I like seam binding too. Blanket binding. Let's go ahead and put the blanket binding right here. Seam binding, seam binding. Okay, this is a pack that they sold like this. Maybe I should have kept my scissors out. Okay, I'll just separate this later. Seam binding, seam binding, seam binding. Rickrack. I think what I'm going to do is take out like things that are half done like this and put them over my desk, over near my desk, where I'll remember to use them. This is blanket binding. This is probably more of a modern button that came with something. Oh, this is a seam ripper, which is great because I always need a seam ripper. This is bias tape. Okay, I'm glad to see that I don't have that much bias tape because I don't know what to do with it. The lace is cool, but again, I'm probably going to take out the ones that are open. Maybe not all the ones that are open, but the ones that are half full and about to be used up, and put them over by my desk so I can use them. And I have more over here. This is bias tape, seam binding, I think, yeah. Okay, so I think we're going to set that aside for now. And then that's my water with my glass straw. This is more seam binding right here. Okay, let's see how many. I think I'm just going to put this down here. This is needles. Where did I put that? Right here. So anything needle related is going to go there. Needles, hook and eyes right here. These snap buttons. I'm going to put them near the hook and eyes because they kind of go together. This is more needles. All right, now I have a lot of vintage buttons. So okay, this looks like a razor blade. Okay, I think for now I'm gonna throw these types of buttons with these little Ziploc bags in here because they're most likely more modern buttons, and then I can reuse these Ziploc bags too. Sometimes I'm looking for tiny Ziploc bags and I can't find them. More hook and eyes. These are snap buttons. I am planning to destash some vintage buttons as well. Probably not the first go around. I'm planning to destash vintage buttons and vintage sewing patterns and maybe some lace and things like that too. Okay. This I'm just going to put into the ephemera pile. These are really cute buttons. I don't know if you guys can see the detail in that. Here's a zipper. See, this is what I love about organizing. You can feel really thorough. Let me just kind of dump this into the trash right here. Actually, let me clean that more thoroughly later. I'm not sure how to separate out these vintage buttons. And for these ones that are half used, I should just try to use them. I'm definitely going to use the cards as ephemera. Magic match for any color. Transparent nylon thread. Not sure where I want to put that. This is a snap button, but there's only one more, so I'm going to put it into the ephemera section. Okay, now that I'm seeing everything, I really need to reiterate to myself. Okay, I think there's only one more button left. I'm going to put it into the ephemera section. But I really need to start using these things. This one is so cute. I remember I got this at one of my first estate sales. Ephemera, snap buttons. I mean, snap buttons are really useful to have for modern day uses too. Okay, but I think it's getting pretty repetitive. Oh, these you can make the fabric covered buttons. That's pretty cool. There's two sizes here. There's one. I should try to do that one day. But I think I'm gonna end the video here. And when I come back, I'm gonna show you guys what I did. And we're probably going to move on to another section, like another category to organize. But I hope you guys were crafting along with me, or maybe organizing along with me, and you guys enjoyed kind of seeing everything that was going on here. And I hope you all continue joining me to see the next round of organization. And I hope I get this done quickly so I can start crafting again. But thank you so much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye everyone.